Irene, does my face have a mark on it? It really hurts.
No, nothing.
My shoulder doesn't hurt, but my face does. Right here. Not here, not here so much. Right here.
Nope. Ship shape. Oh, to say it's been a crazy week would be an understatement. It's been stressful and exhausting and scary.
Yeah, I don't know where to begin. A week ago, I was in a pretty serious bicycle accident here in Newport, Oregon, and went up in the hospital for 3 days. Collapsed lung, a number of broken ribs, lots of road rash.
Yes.
It was a pretty scary time. And so we were trying to think about, we wanted to, talk about it on video, but as most, we don't really script stuff. We just kind of film our life and it is what it is. And so just to sit down and go, wow, what do we talk about? That's kind of the position we're in now. We don't really talk about and prepare this whole thing. We're just like, let's talk about what happened. So I don't even know where to begin.
Well, let me begin with how it started for me. I was actually visiting my nephew and brother, and Dave had left for a bicycle ride, and I get a phone call about 1:30 in the afternoon or so from Dave. He's very precise, clear, focused in his phone call. He just said, don't worry, I'm fine. I've been in an accident. I'm on my way to the hospital. Don't worry, don't come, sit tight for a bit, and I'll get back to you. So, of course, I had 101 questions, but I wanted to know how he was going to the hospital. And he said there was an ambulance. So then, of course, my brain was panicking because that sounds very serious. And so, yeah, my brother let me borrow his truck, and I met him at the hospital.
Yeah. I ride a lot, and I have several different bikes. I was riding my time trial bike. It's a very fast, aerodynamic road bike for triathlons. And I'd ridden probably a good 30 miles, and I was heading back to where she was at her mom's house in Agate Beach. And I was riding on, it's kind of a back road around Newport. It's not a ton of traffic on it. It's actually the Oregon Coast bike route. So there's typically bikes on that, especially in the summer. A lot of bike signs, and it's usually a typically pretty safe road to ride on. Safe as any road can be to ride on that you share with cars. But there's one section I was riding. I was heading north, and it's kind of a long, gradual descent that you can get pretty fast on. And certain sections of that road are actually safer just kind of going the speed limit, the speed of cars, because there's not much of a shoulder. So we just kind of go take the whole center of the road and just go the same speed the cars are, and everyone treats you well. And that's what I was doing. And so I remember I was on that road and I was going down that hill fairly fast, but not out of control. I mean, if you're gonna race fast, you got to train fast. And I vaguely had this memory of there's a road that connects to this road up ahead of us. The road I'm on is Ocean View, and it's a road that kind of connects down to that. And I don't even know if this is what happened or not. I just have this vague memory or thought that there's a car came down to the intersection and he's going to pull out in front of me. And then I don't remember anything. I don't remember the crash. I don't remember anything about it. My first memory is I'm standing on the shoulder of the road, and there's emergency vehicles all around me, fire trucks and ambulances, and there's a medic in front of me, a paramedic from the ambulance, and we're talking. I don't know what we're talking about, and I remember I'm trying to figure out, am I dreaming, because what is going on here? And I look over, I see my bike. That's the last time I saw my bike. I have no idea what condition it's in. I just know my bike was laying next to me. And I'm talking to the paramedic, and then I look down and I see I'm I mean, this is a week later. Most of it's kind of gone now, but my shoulder is in a lot of pain. Um, Lots of road rash. My knees are pretty bloody, but the only really pain I feel is in the middle of my back, and it felt like my back was out. So I don't know if I said it or if I was just thinking it, but I just wanted to go home and pop my back and feel better. And I'm sure I wasn't making much sense, but I remember feeling rational and calm and fully aware of everything. And I remember they put me in the ambulance, and I thought, well,
That's when you called me,
I
right?
better call her. So
Yeah.
how am I going to call Irina and help scaring her to death? So I called her, and the rest is kind of a blur. We went to the hospital in Newport, and it was a mess. I just remember I'm in a wheelchair, and they're wheeling me in, or not a wheelchair, but I'm in a,
Yeah, one of those chairs
uh,
they put you in.
I got bed on wheels, I think, at
Oh,
first.
okay.
The gurney, whatever. But I just remember the waiting room was just full of people, and it felt like I was like a circus sideshow. Because I mean, I'm pretty bloody.
Yeah.
My bike jersey's torn, hanging off me, and I just felt like everyone was staring at me. And I think I remember talking to people, "Hey, everyone, I'm okay." And then eventually they wheeled. I think you showed up around.
You were already in a room.
Yeah, they eventually
kind of
put me
in
in
like
like
a-
it wasn't a waiting room. They put me in like it was a lab room or something that wasn't being
Yeah.
used at the time because they were so full. And there was a girl that was with me initially in the waiting area. I don't know if she probably wasn't with the ambulance. She would have probably stuck around. In my mind, I thought she was with the ambulance, but I think she was with the hospital. And I remember asking her name. I'm pretty sure it was Jasmine, because it's going to be a long wait with this type of crowd in the waiting room, and I'm starting to get some serious pain in the middle of my back. And Jasmine, I don't know what she did, but she was like, "We need to get people to realize, or that you definitely need to be ahead of these people." And I remember she's wheeling me around, and I know who she was talking to, but I think everyone thought I was there to be checked out, just to make sure I was okay, and that I had a bunch of road rash. But she felt it was more serious than that, and it turned out it was. I felt fine. I didn't realize that at that time my lung had collapsed. My right lung was mostly completely collapsed. And so I don't know. Eventually they wheeled me in, and they did like
First, they did like the head scan.
yeah, they went and did like a CT scan. I remember like going through the machines I'd only seen on TV before. I'd never really been in a hospital or been injured in my life. I had never been involved in anything like this, so I didn't know what to expect. But they ran me in and out of these machines, and everyone was so nice and so kind. I know it was excruciating painful to lift me off from the gurney thing I was on to this hardboard to the CT machines. I remember it was so excruciating, and they couldn't give me anything. And I don't remember asking for pain meds, but you said
He was asking. He's like, "Can I get something?" He was just begging for something because his back, it was just the middle of his back was killing him.
Yeah, it was.
And they couldn't until they determined what exactly was wrong.
Well, after the initial scan of my head and neck, they walked in the room, and by their faces, I knew it was not
Yeah.
good. They were like,
And they immediately put a neck brace on him.
yeah, they put a neck brace on me, which is really weird. But anyway, they said that I had broken some ribs that were pretty hard to break. I broke this one, the top rib up here, and then it was a 2 and 3 on the back, so some of the top 2 ribs on the back. And they were, I remember they kept saying, "Are you sure you're breathing okay?" And I said, "I'm fine." And there was another gal in there that I got to go back and thank or send her flowers. She was with us that whole time,
Maureen, yeah.
Maureen, and she was really a calming voice amongst all this, because there was just so much confusion,
Yeah.
people in and out, and Maureen was just with us the whole
She
time.
was like re-explaining what people had said, if we weren't understanding, and answering all our questions. And 'cause
Yeah.
it was like doctors were staying a minute and then they had to go attend to something else. It was A literal madhouse.
It was not the ideal conditions to be hurt in a hospital because it was a madhouse and everyone was in a hurry.
Yeah.
And so, try to shorten this up, but someone came in and said that, well, even though you can't breathe, you seem to be breathing well, your lung has collapsed, and we have to put a tube in your chest. And I was like, oh crap.
Mm-hmm.
And so the doctor is going to come in, and basically they're going to put a tube in my chest and try to get it to reinflate. Obviously the ribs are just going to be what they're going to be. It's just going to, you can't really fix that.
Not only put a tube in, but once that is in, they needed to transfer him to a trauma hospital because they are not equipped to monitor that kind of patient at the hospital here in Newport. So the dilemma became there are no beds available.
They were looking between Eugene and Salem and
Portland, which
and,
Portland is turning away all trauma patients at this time. They just have no room. So
yeah, so then Dr. Wilson came in,
yeah.
and I'm my nervous thing is when my humor comes out. So I'm still this whole time I'm fully alert, fully aware, and I'm trying to make jokes, and the guy's gonna come in and stick a tube into me, and so Irene was right there, and they came in, and I was trying not to look, but I got a glimpse of a scalpel, which was like, is this real life?
Yeah.
Is this really gonna happen? So I'm trying to deep breathe, and of course they got me, they're gonna do it right here, and they're cleaning it, and they got me. You feel very exposed when someone's right here with a knife, and they're having you, do this kind of stuff. And then I'm looking this way, and first he gave me some shots to numb this area, which actually did a pretty good job. But it was the pressure of just working that scalpel between two ribs. You could hear it, you could feel the pressure, and then it was a matter of what seemed like how much garden hose they're going to put in their doc, because they just kept because obviously they want to be tight fit, so the hole was small. And it's actually moving my whole body.
And it goes between, explain later, it goes between two ribs. They have to kind of pry it in between two ribs.
Yeah. And then they tape it up, and then they stitch the tube to me, and then eventually they found out there was no place to take me, so they took me up, and it was the best thing ever, because they sent me up to the 3rd floor.
They said you were stable enough that they could keep him.
Yeah, so I think
goodness.
it's because I was just handling everything so well, and I was very alert, and I was like, so they put us on the 3rd floor with normal patients, and with Irene there, I was able to, the nurses had probably the easiest thing they've ever had it. In fact, a couple of them at Relief, I heard one of them say, "Don't worry, you won't have to do much with this guy," because she was, in the van. Our van is parked outside in the parking lot, so she's in with me all day, but she's staying in the van, and so she's bringing me good food, and she's able to go walk Pistol, and so it was very convenient for us to be right there, and so we were in the hospital a total of 3 days. And
by the 3rd day, they kept taking x-rays every day. By the 3rd day, his lung had repaired enough that...
Yeah, there was one part that hadn't quite opened up yet. And by the 3rd morning, they took an x-ray, and the doctor said, if it's doing well, if it looks good this afternoon, we'll pull the tube out and you can go home. And that was probably the best thing I'd heard. But they're so busy. He came in, and it's really interesting, because you don't have to go anywhere to get x-rays. People come up with this machine, and they wheel it into the room around your bed, and this arm comes out, and they point at your chest, take a picture, they look at it, off they go. So they did that at about, I don't know, it was early afternoon, maybe 2 or 3. And then I was thinking, it's getting pretty late. If the doctor comes and pulls the tube out too late, they're not going to be able to go through the whole discharge process. I'm probably going to have to spend another night at the hospital, which I did not want to do. So I thought my hopes were kind of like, I'm not leaving today, because like at 6 o'clock, the doctor still hadn't come up, and I had the x-ray like hours ago. So I think it was around 6:30, Dr. Wilson came in the room, and it was just me and Irene, and he said, how about we pull that tube out of your chest and you go home? I'm like, okay, like right here, just us, like
Right there.
yeah, right there. So
I wanted to leave the room so bad, but they were like in between me and the door, and then I knew Dave was nervous about it, so I wanted to be there for moral support, but it was not
laughing
like,
is no fun.
my idea of a good time. I'm like, I'm here for you, but I don't think I can look.
But I don't know if I was, because the tube going in was such a fast thing going on. I had no time to really think about it. It was going to happen. And they did it. Now I've been thinking about this tube coming out for a long time, and I was really worried about it. And so he came in and he had this big patch. It was a big bandage, and it was a kind of rubbery type material. And he got it ready right here, and he said, "I want you to hum." I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he goes, I said, okay. He said, sounds good. Or I said, how about,
He said the first one was better.
He said the first one was better. So he said, when I start, something about the pressure. So when I pull the tube out, I'm going to tell you to hum, then I'm going to pull the tube out. And I'm expecting this tube to be like, just pull out and be over. Because he takes the stitching out, didn't feel any of that. There's no numbing, but he just took the stitch out. Okay, he's just going to pull this tube out, take a deep breath, and be over in like a second or two. And he says, so I'm looking over at Irene. He says, go ahead and hum. I went, And it was like...
He whipped that thing out so fast. It was like a snake coming out.
It was
there.
worse coming out.
I
than
thought it
coming
would
in.
just be like slow and steady wins the race. No, it was like that.
Yeah, I felt like he yanked a garter snake out of me.
It was wild.
But he pulled it out, and then he just slapped that patch back down on me. He said, that was good. So once the tube was out, and he slapped that bandage down on me, it was like, okay, let's, guess you can get you out of here now. I'm like, of course, Irene she's stressed because she's like, she's going to be the one taking care of me. And
that's when it gets real for me because, yeah, I was helping at the hospital, but I don't have all these doctors around with me. And
right. And they'd been really watching my oxygen levels in my blood, and I'd done all kinds of monitors, and they were concerned that my oxygen level in my blood would go down,
Yeah.
which could cause problems. And all this was happening in the same day.
Yeah.
And so, but they needed a room, and we were doing well. And
you were good enough.
And I think they realized that as a team, we could handle it just fine. And fortunately, we have some amazing friends, and allowing us to stay here in their condo
in Newport, so we didn't have to drive. I had to drive from home, which also I was nervous about.
She doesn't like to drive, and she's driven the van a few times, but even before the van, she does not like to drive. So all the people that wonder why she never drives, it's because she doesn't want to.
I can. I'm good at it, and the van drives fine.
It's a
just
perfect world.
Not my favorite thing to do. And of course, I've got this patient with these ribs, and I'm trying to pick the best route down here without the potholes. So
And there's a lot of speed bumps at this condo area, which I mean I was fine.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing with all the, we're fortunate that it happened here in a place where we have friends and family. But that's the way life is. If it had happened somewhere else, we'd have made it work. We'd have got a hotel. We have plans if something happens. But it's been nice to be here with friends and family. And her mom, has been awesome. Her brother loaned her a truck so she could run around. And then just between the social media, Facebook and Instagram comments, the private messages, the gifts. It's been. To say it's lifted my spirits would be an understatement, and I could almost get emotional now thinking about it. I mean, I'm trying to get emotional, not just talk about the whole thing, because I haven't really talked about the whole thing, but it could probably be another video where I could talk about, the other side, other than just, the crash and what happened and the hospital treatment, but just about the aspects of how it affected me, the things I've thought about. That could be a whole other video, because it's really got me thinking about a lot of things. Nothing weird, but when you have some, I almost died. This is my helmet. This is a $240 helmet that I bought a year ago, mainly because of its safety features. It's a Giro synth, I believe, but it's MIPS technology. The way this helmet is it almost floats on your head, and it's designed for if you take a certain impacts, it really reduces rotational impact. And I'm not sure if it does something where it doesn't, grab and
Doesn't twist your head.
Yeah, a good. Yeah, so this is I think where I took the impact based on my injuries. I have no recollection obviously what happened, but I know that I was going over 30 miles an hour, and when I went off the bike, because of the damage here and the painful shoulder, most of the road rash has gone away now, but this area here was, I think, the first impact. And because my knees are covered with rash and the backs of my hands, I probably went off, hands behind my back this way, and then impacted and skidded to a stop. But this helmet's busted in here.
Yeah, this foam is cracked all the way through. I mean, this literally saved your life.
Yeah, in fact, when the doctors they saw me and my helmet, they were taking the brain scans. I didn't know, but they were actually shocked that I had no brain trauma or any issues with bruising or that sort of thing. Everything was fine.
No, not a scratch on his head. He had
it's all worn off now, but I had road rash here from where my riding glasses and some pavement rim down here, but it was pretty minor, so within a week it's been gone. But yeah, so the impact was here, and I have no doubt that had I not been wearing this helmet, I'm not even sure if I'd been wearing another helmet, maybe I probably would have survived, but this helmet saved my life. I've already emailed Giro and thanked them, but I don't think they'll give me a new one for free. But but I'm buying another one.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, that one's
garbage.
That one's garbage. So
yeah,
I could do maybe after I think about it more, we could talk about the thoughts that you have when that sort of major life-changing thing happens to you. But for now, we thought we'd just talk about what happened and where we're at now, and say thank you to everyone. It's been, like I said, it's been an understatement to say it's been lifted my spirits, and I'm doing great. I've been taking walks every day, nothing too far. My lung feels great. My ribs suck.
I did watch him breathe for the first 2 nights. I got no sleep because anytime he would try and sleep, I would just be staring at him, making sure he was breathing. So
yeah, they say most rib breaks are the lower ones, and they say, oh, if you're gonna cough, hold a pillow. Well, it doesn't help because it's pushing the ribs out the back. So I've been trying to. I haven't really had to cough,
but he's been obsessive with the blowy thing they give you in the hospital. Anybody who's been in a hospital knows what I'm talking about.
It's a thing where you exercise your lungs, and it really helps to prevent pneumonia.
So he's inhaling it all the way up to the top. And
it's the only exercise I get.
So he's training focused on it.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, because of the condition you were in and are in, even your rashes are healing quickly. Your lung, you didn't even notice it was collapsed. You're healing so fast. I know the ribs are definitely going to take a long time, and you need more rest just so your body can repair. But
that's been my biggest challenge. Is I've always tried to stay in shape, but the last probably close to 8 weeks, I've been pretty consistent with 6 days a week running and riding, trying to build that mileage up. And I didn't really tell anyone, but I've been kind of secretly thinking about doing this. It's a half Ironman here in Oregon in September, and I'd done it a number of years ago, and I was thinking about doing it again this September if I could get my mileage up. But that's not going to happen. But it's really hard to go from being that active, and even if it's not the exercise, we're just always outside doing things. We don't watch TV, we don't binge watch anything. We're just outside enjoying life and nature, and then to all of a sudden just be inside. And we've actually watched TV here, which is very strange, and
that stresses me out too.
Yeah.
Got to turn that news off.
Got to turn the news off.
But we have this wonderful space to rest and recuperate in, and I'll show you the view here. I'll just show you now. This is our view. I mean, can't complain about that, right?
And when I retired, we actually owned a condo. Just
Yeah, we lived here.
we lived just
actually.
another building away from
Yeah.
here.
So we have zero complaints. We're grateful he's alive and he's recuperating. It's going to be a process, so bear with us as that happens. And I guess we'll just talk to you next week.
Carry on.
Carry on.